Howdy y'all, what's up YouTube? Today I'm going to be making chunky chocolate chips, organic vegan chunky chocolate chips. These are some of the ingredients I'm going to be using. Apple cider vinegar, Nature's Promise organic garbanzo beans, no salt added, vegan butter. This is melt. We got baking powder, baking soda. This is brown sugar and white sugar, both organic vegan. And I got 2.5 cups of flour, a cup of organic coconut oil, and then of course the chunky chocolate chips and the miniature ones. And then we'll be using, which I didn't grab, the organic vanilla extract. So let me get my bowl and we'll get started. Okay, so we have our bowl. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to put coconut oil. It's half a cup of organic coconut oil. Now, if you don't want to use coconut oil, you can use just butter, vegan butter. I use coconut oil because, one, I like the flavor, and two, with the coconut oil, a half a cup of this and a half a cup, one stick of the vegan butter, it's less sodium. I do everything low sodium with all my baking. So, I mean, if you want to add salt or do it your way, that's fine. You can substitute. It's no problem. So, okay. All right, so now that we have that in, I'm going to get the butter. Okay, so putting the butter in, I like to cut it up into pieces. It's easier to blend, although this has been out for a while sitting on the counter, so it is softened butter. There we go. Like I said, if you want, you can use 2 sticks of this instead of the half a cup of coconut oil and 1 stick of this. I'm doing it because of sodium. So, alright, now the next thing you're going to do is, I have in here, in this bowl, I have a half a cup of organic brown sugar, light brown sugar, and a half a cup of organic white sugar. So we're going to pour that in. Now, if you want, you could do 3/4 cup of each of the light brown and the white sugar. I don't. I like less sugar, but that's me. So, all right. So now what we're going to do is this. We are going to cream it together. So, let me get my trusty mixer and start creaming. Okay, that's pretty much creamed together. Perfect. Okay, to that, now we are going to add our vanilla, organic vanilla extract. We're going to use 1 teaspoon. I never measure, so just eyeballing. Okay. And with that, you are going to add a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar. Okay. You are going to also add vegan egg substitute. I use garbanzo beans, the can. I get no salt added. It is just 20 milligrams, but you can use whatever you want. You need 2 vegan eggs. So I know apple cider vinegar is a vegan egg, but I use it as an agent with the 2 vegan eggs. That's why I don't use much of it. So now you're going to need, for this, if you're using garbanzo, the juice of it, the aquafaba, 4 tablespoons, but I usually do 5 for 2 eggs, 2 medium, large eggs, extra large, you know, so. All right, so that's 5 tablespoons. All right, now we're gonna mix this together. Okay, that's all mixed. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, now that that is all done, we are going to start adding our dry ingredients, which will be 2.5 cups of flour. We're going to start with about half of it to begin with to mix. And with that, before we start mixing, we are going to add our baking soda, which is 1 teaspoon of baking soda. But I use this brand. It is called Energy Baking Soda Substitute. So it's there's no sodium in it, so you have to usually double. So I'm going to be putting in 2 teaspoons. But for you, if you're using regular and don't have to worry about sodium and just using regular baking soda, then use just a teaspoon. And then we are also going to be adding a teaspoon of baking powder. Well, I use a teaspoon, so a half a teaspoon of baking powder, because I use a full teaspoon because I double it, so you would use half. Okay, so that's in. Now we are going to start mixing. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, while I am mixing this, you can preheat your oven to 375 degrees. And the cookies usually cook between 10 and 12 minutes. It really depends on the person's oven. I have gas, but for some reason mine seems to cook stronger than most. At least it seems that way on the middle rack. But while you're mixing this, preheat your oven to 375. So let's get this in, all mixed. Okay, the first part is all mixed. Now we're going to add the rest of the flour. And with that flour, we are going to add our 2 cups of chocolate chips. I'm using Enjoy Life, the chunky and the mini morsels, a cup of each. And just kind of like to start mixing it in before actually turning it on, because yeah, I should have probably used a larger bowl. I usually do, but I grabbed the Pyrex. Okay, so that's mixed as much as you can. Mix it. It gets to the point where it's too hard to mix, so we're going to take this off. And my husband loves the cookie dough part of this, so I'm going to give that to him to eat. And the rest of the time, the rest of it, because you'll still see a little bit of flour, you're pretty much just going to use a spatula or a wooden spoon to finish mixing it. So once it's all finished mixed, I'll be back. Okay, the dough is all mixed. Look how chunky and dough looks so yummy. All right, so now we're going to get our cookie sheets out. And I use parchment paper. Easy peasy. Beautiful cover girl. It's easy. So I'm going to get the cookie sheets out, parchment paper, and I shall return. Okay, and we're back. I have cookie sheet here, already covered in parchment paper. What we are going to do is take a little bit of the dough, about an inch. Let's see if we're in the camera. Yes, we are. Roll it into a ball and just place it down. Take another one, about an inch. And you can weigh this or use an ice cream scoop if you want. But I've done so many of these. During Christmas time, I probably did over 1,000 cookies, maybe a little bit more. So, you know, I'm pretty good at this. So you're just pretty much just going to roll them in about an inch. That's it. And then place them on the cookie sheet. So I'll do that all and I'll show you and be back. Okay, so they're all rolled out. Now what I do before I put it in the oven, I just flatten them a little bit. Not much, and I do mean very little. Like halfway. That's it. Just halfway down. Not where it's completely flat. Okay, that's good. All right, so now they're gonna go in the oven for 10 to 12 minutes, depending. So, I'll show you when they're all out. Or, you know what? Yeah, we'll be back. Okay, so while the first batch is in the oven, I'm gonna get the second batch ready. I don't know if I told you, when I put them in the oven, I use the middle rack. I think that's pretty much everybody does, but who knows, depending on oven, you know, different ovens, so altitude, all of that. So, all right, so we're gonna pretty much do the same thing here. About an inch, take it, roll it, put it down. So I'll do this whole tray and I'll be back. Okay, so the second batch is done. We'll wait until go in the oven. So we have about 7 minutes left on the cookies in there. So I'll show you when they're all done. Okay, y'all, cookies are done. Well, the first batch. Alright, here's the first batch. Oh my goodness gracious. Lordy, lordy, they look so yummy. And if you could just smell them, if I had smell-o-vision, so perfect. I don't really want to touch them because they're too hot, but yeah, oh my goodness, they are so yummy. Like I said, if you want, you can use, in the beginning I was saying about coconut oil and 1 stick of butter, half a cup. You could just use a full cup of butter if you'd like, and if you want to add salt to your recipe, you can, obviously. You know, I would use a 1/4 teaspoon, but yeah, this is them. Oh my goodness, they look so perfect. All right, let me put the other batch in the oven. Well, I was gonna wait and finish the video with me opening one, but my battery is about to die, so I will just end it this way and show this and say happy baking, happy cooking. Have fun with it, make it your own. You could put nuts in if you want to, or just use all small chips or all chunky chips, whatever you want. Be creative. All right, blessings.